So this week's Torah portion, Va'era. This week's Torah portion is the beginning of what we're very familiar with in the Passover story. And so I quote from the portion, it says, "Say therefore to the Israelite people, I am the Eternal, I will free you from the labors of the Egyptians and deliver you from their bondage. I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and through extraordinary chastisements. And I will take you to be my people, and I will be your God. And you shall know that I, the Eternal, am your God, who freed you from the labors of the Egyptians. I will bring you into the land which I swore to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and I will give it to you for a possession, I, the Eternal." So, interestingly, when we're saying these words at the Seder, we don't read them in succession like I just did. We associate each one of those. There were 5 that I just read. There was free you, deliver you, redeem you, take you, and bring you. And we associate the first 4 each with a cup of wine. So again, we taste the sweetness or the joy of this idea of being free, of being redeemed, of being taken and with God. And so there's a 5th one. But we're literally drinking this toast to each of these and tasting its sweetness. So as for the 5th assertion, to bring us into the land that was promised to our ancestors, here's where there's some disagreement. Some rabbis, some sages say that was fulfilled when we reached the promised land. Moses didn't get to go, but when we reached the promised land at the end of the Torah, that was fulfilled. And others argue perhaps it happened then, but still today we're working to make that promised land a good and safe and holy and place that either we all choose to be in or that we are in the diaspora as well, but that there's contention on whether that 5th promise has been fulfilled. And I'm going to come back to that question in a moment. So hang on to that idea. But I ask you tonight, how can we be God's partners in fulfilling this 5th promise? What's our job in fulfilling this 5th promise? What can we do to make both the diaspora and Israel holy and meaningful? One answer, I believe, is right before us today. We have the opportunity to vote our values and influence the promised land, helping it to be in line with the values that we cherish. And so I'm going to speak a moment about voting that you'll have an opportunity to do as well. And I'm going to quote from Rabbi Samantha Kahn. She is a rabbi who wrote recently about this opportunity to vote for what's going on in Israel right now with the World Zionist Congress. And she herself is on the reform slate, and would be voted on as being a delegate if enough people vote in this way. So I'm going to share her words with you now. Jews have had a connection to the land of Israel for thousands of years. Yet today, according to many polls, a majority of American Jews are a lot more hesitant to engage with Israel than past generations. Many are distraught over political realities in Israel, but feel as though they don't have the power to make a difference. This is inaccurate, she says. We all have a say in our Jewish future and what values guide Israel and world Jewry, and you don't have to be a spectator. You can help choose what our future looks like by voting in the World Zionist Congress elections. The World Zionist Congress was first convened by Theodor Herzl in 1897. Described as the Parliament of the Jewish people, it comprises 500 delegates and meets in Jerusalem every 5 years. It enables delegates to exert ideological influence on both Israeli society and the global Jewish agenda, as well as allocate financial and other resources to various organizations in Israel. As of January 20th, 2020, the World Zionist Congress elections are here. They're upon us. And it is time to have, and they're not one day, they give us some time, but don't delay. It is time to have our voices heard in Israel. Each and every vote is crucial to maintaining a strong reform presence. If the reform slate gains enough votes, we can influence the disbursement of millions of dollars and put leaders in place that will enable us to ensure that decisions about government and public spending reflect Reform Judaism's values and positions. This is the way we can continue to build a democratic society in Israel that truly reflects the Jewish values we hold dear: pluralism, equality, economic justice, and peace. Yes, we care for this foundational work of equality within the Jewish community. This is our chance to combat the discrimination the Reform movement faces in Israel. Together, we can grow our Reform movement and work towards making progress on the issues we care about. She says, let's be clear. Our slate understands that religious equality is not where our work for a better Israel ends, but it must be where it begins. As long as there are members of Israeli society who easily write off Reform Jews, they will not hesitate to write off people of other faiths and nationalities as well. Our fight for equality needs to start within our Jewish family. We must begin our path to equality by fighting for all Jews to be recognized and treated equally. This is just the beginning, though. We will not stop until we are proud of how we treat all of Israel's citizens and neighbors. She ends by saying, your vote in this election is the only democratic opportunity you have to influence Israeli society. Don't be silent. Vote your values and vote Reform. So it's very easy to do, and we've created an opportunity for you to do this here at Har Hashem if you choose to participate, and I hope that you're interested and you can disagree with some of these things and still vote and make a difference in what you believe. We've set up a station in the lobby, and you'll notice I'm wearing my I voted sticker. You can stay after services. I know it's Shabbat and we don't necessarily use technology, but this is for such an important reason. You can sign on. It costs a little bit of money because you have to join, and you can vote the Reform slate. It's one box to check. It's very easy. And then there's a sticker to put on our poster and a sticker to wear. You get 2 stickers. Such a bargain. Such a bargain. And so I invite you to do so. And I'd like now to go back to this idea of the 5th promise. And I would like to give you this answer. The rabbis decided, the rabbis of old, since they couldn't decide whether that 5th promise has been fulfilled. As you know, we drink the 4 glasses of wine, so the 5th is for Elijah. So the rabbis solve things by saying, you're right and you're right, so we'll do it this way. And so the 5th glass is for Elijah. And we don't drink it, right? We don't drink it. We set aside, for we are taught that when Elijah comes, that Elijah will bring the Messianic age, or a Messiah, or this idea that when we've worked hard enough for peace and justice and goodness, that we can usher in a Messianic age, and Elijah will come and tell us that it's here. And so then all our questions will be answered, and then we will have fulfilled all these promises.